Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. More Newcastle transfer news. I have quite literally just got back in the house now from the Wolves game. I'm exhausted, but we go again in 2 days' time down to Liverpool. But that's just on the pitch. What about off the pitch for Newcastle? So this is now the final week of the transfer window. So far we have brought in, 4 players now. I don't think Newcastle are done. We haven't loaned a single player out, and I think Newcastle at the very least will utilise the loan market and bring somebody else in on loan. If not, buying someone else on a permanent deal. Newcastle have spent in this window just shy of about £100 million. It's been a phenomenal window. And yeah, good times are ahead for us. But anyway guys, if you're new around here, make sure to get down here, hit that subscribe button, smash the like button as well. And finally, question of the day. What loan player would you like to see this football club going for? Any player on loan, who would you pick? But yeah, back on topic now. So we'll quickly recap the Wolves game first before we get into the transfer news, because there was one big injury I think on the pitch that might affect us going forward. It's depending on how serious it is. So if anyone saw Saint-Maximin towards the end of the game, he was holding his hamstring quite a bit. And the second the game ended, he went straight down the players till he didn't go and clap the fans. He was definitely in a lot of pain, you can probably tell. So, I mean, personally for me, I haven't asked him, so I don't know if he's injured or not, but I get the impression that he is. It didn't look good at all. I don't know if it's a serious injury or might be something that's just a couple of weeks long. But the point is, though, he's probably going to miss the Liverpool game. No Bruno, no Wilson. Thankfully, Isak, hopefully he's going to have his work permit in by then. I mean, you better have his work permit in by Wednesday, otherwise we're going to be in big trouble against Liverpool. But yeah, not ideal going in that match, but I mean, Liverpool, to be fair, they hadn't had the greatest start of the season despite the 9-0 win on Saturday. Because let's face it, Bournemouth are crap, so they haven't really impressed me so far in the first few games. So I tell you what, Newcastle, we start off well. I will fancy our chances to potentially get a result down there. So it has to depend on how we start off the game, though. Onto the transfer news straight away now. Let's get the outgoings out of the way first. Martin to Braga, so Fabrizio Romano for 4. Put an exclusive out saying that everything on the player side has been agreed to join Manchester United. It's getting to the final stages of the transfer now. Where De Braga will go there on a loan deal, and if he reaches some clauses in his contract, Man U can buy him out. So he has pretty much finished his Newcastle United career now. I can't imagine us getting him back next season. I'm pretty sure Man U will pay the $5 million or give him the game time that will activate that clause in his contract. A lot of fans have got mixed opinions on him, but regardless of what your opinions is on De Bruyne's choice to leave the club, he's had a very good time at this football club. He came for £4 million and he's been phenomenal. He's had some exceptional games for the club and he did give 100% in all the games he's played. But as for the way he left the club now, yes, I think you can criticise him. It doesn't look good on his behalf, but I can only see what I can see in social media. I don't know his side of it, so it's kind of like one side of the story. But that one side of the story doesn't look good for De Bruyne. He just almost looks like that. The first opportunity of a challenge at the club, he's kind of just went, yeah, I'm not having it, I want to go somewhere else. But if it was a first choice somewhere, I would understand it. But Manchester United, you're going to be second choice anyway. So I don't really get it, unless he's like a massive Man U fan, something that no one's heard about. I don't get why he really wanted to go Manchester United. I don't know what it is about it, so yeah, I wish him the best of luck, but I don't think he'll play again for the club. I think he will go on a loan and they will activate his £5 million clause. So just regarding the games of the weekend now, so Newcastle take on Palace on the Saturday. But on the Sunday at Kingston Park, the girls team actually plays there. So if you guys aren't doing anything on Sunday, make sure you get yourselves to the game. They played at Kingston Park yesterday. 1,500 turned up when we were playing Wolves at the exact same time, which is a really good turnout considering Newcastle were playing at the exact same time as the girls team. So yeah, if you aren't doing anything on Sunday, make sure you get along, support the team. I imagine the owners will probably be there, so everyone's going to be involved. It's going to be great to see. I can't wait to get my vlog sorted for the first time I actually watched the women's team play this season. So yeah, just a little heads up there, guys. If you aren't doing anything on Sunday, make sure to attend that game. Depending on how serious Bruno's injury is for Newcastle, we could be in a midfielder crisis at the club. So we already know John Joe Shelby is out injured until the end of November at the earliest. Now, if Bruno also has a long-term injury, then we are very limited in the midfield. We've got Willock, Joe Layton, Longstaff, Anderson. That's about it. Yeah, so very tight. And I've seen a lot of people yesterday slag Longstaff off after the game. Now, I'm not going to lie, I didn't think he had a great game, but I'm not going to go on his social media page and spam with that. I think some people definitely took it a bit too far. But everyone's entitled to their opinion though, and no, I didn't think he had a great game yesterday, but I kind of keep my thoughts to myself on the channel, where he's most likely not going to see it. But yeah, back on topic, sorry. So, in terms of actual players we can bring in now, so as a result, there's been quite a few different transfer links that came out. We're talking about the one that came out yesterday first, so Edson Alvarez from Ajax, the defensive midfielder, the Mexican international. He's someone that I've never watched before. Again, the majority of these signs I've never watched him before. But the fact he plays for Ajax, you know, he's a big name. He's somebody that a lot of people will know. He looks decent. He looks like he's somebody that will come in and do a job. I can only say so much because I don't know much about the guy, but according to reports out there, Newcastle have actually had a £30 million bid for him rejected, and they're going to go back in for a second bid of upwards of £40 million. So whether you believe that or not is not a question now today. I mean, some of this is going to be speculation today, to be honest, because I think Newcastle are at that sort of planning stage now. They're ready to take their final moves, like the final game of chess. They're ready to put all the things onto one plate and just go for it. So I think tomorrow we'll definitely get a lot more to come out. But as for today, I've got to talk about this Edson Alvarez one. So whether you believe that or not is another question, but that is something that has came out in reports. Let's talk about the transfer news that has came out today now. So Bakayoko, the current Chelsea player that is on loan at AC Milan. So according to several reports over at Italy, Newcastle are actually looking to bring Bakayoko into the club. So essentially how this one is working is that Bakayoko wants to terminate his Chelsea contract. And because he's obviously contracted to Chelsea, even though it's a loan deal at AC Milan, once that contract's terminated, his loan deal at AC Milan ends, he can pretty much go wherever he wants. He's almost like a free agent at that point. So Newcastle are kind of waiting for that, and they according to reports, they're kind of wanting the player to come to us, so they'll be in talks to the player and try and get him to come over. Now, this is somebody I actually can talk about because I have watched Bakayoko play before. I know at least his Chelsea time. And he had 1 year at Chelsea. He played quite a lot for them. He only had the 1 year at the club. Even then, I still think it's a bit harsh to judge him on that one season because, I mean, there's only so much you can look at. It was a few seasons ago now as well. So he went to AC Milan. He hasn't had an awful amount of game time, but he did win the Serie A last season, so he at least had some success in that way. He's somebody I do like, though. I think he's better than what we have as in available players now. Obviously, I think Bruno is a better player than him. But we've got him injured, got like a long staff in the team. Bakayoko is somebody that in a defensive midfielder role you would want. I think he's a good player. I don't think he's amazing, but I think he is a good player. And if Newcastle can cut down his wage, I remember his wage at Chelsea was very high. So if Newcastle can cut that down to a level that the club is accepting of, then I would say yes to this deal. But that's one thing that does sort of go around my head a little bit. It doesn't seem like a player that Newcastle would go towards that massive wage gap. Eddie Howe has always stated in press conferences last year that he wants everyone at the club to have a similar wage gap so nobody's getting frustrated with each other, so everyone's working together. And someone like Bakayoko, I can't see him dropping the wages, so it'll be one to keep an eye on. I do like him, and if it's possible to get him in for a sensible amount, then yes, I would say yes to it. But it's one of those ones where I need to see a bit more. But it is important to know that it has been reported by quite a lot of the Italian media sources. And that's it today, guys. That is all of the transfer news that has came out today. Not much at all. It's been quite a quiet day for Newcastle. But as I said before, I think it's one of those situations now where we are ready to take that final step. And as a result, not much activity is coming on social media. But I'm expecting it over the next day or two to really fly up. It might be in our case that on Wednesday when I'm on my train, it's another one I've got to sit in the train toilet and just talk about in our sign at the club. It's one of those ones where out of nowhere someone's going to pop out and it's going to be very exciting. So yeah, keep an eye on that. I fully expect my video on the channel tomorrow to have a lot more transfer news in it. I'm fully expecting more topics to come out and just more stuff to talk about. So yeah, very quiet day today. Surprising. It is surprising, sorry about that. But yeah, that's about it really. So Liverpool on Wednesday. I guess I'll do my preview now because I've got nothing else to talk about. So that match is going to be, definitely going to be an interesting game. We haven't won there in 30 years, so I just want to see that streak end because that's a pretty bad return. I know Anfield's quite a hard place to play, but 30 years, come on, we can do better than that. So I'm hoping we can give it a good go. Now, last season, despite despite the team still being pretty bad at the time. We got a 3-1 loss where Mike Dean was the reason we lost. He was just a complete arsehole in that game, so I'm glad he's retired. So yeah, fingers crossed the officiating is better this time round and Newcastle give it a good go, because it's not impossible at all. Without Darwin Núñez, he's still suspended. Salah, I think's performed bad without Mane. So I tell you what, Newcastle, they could be there for the take, and I think we could give it a good go. So fingers crossed, Saint-Maximin's okay, and with Isak playing, yeah, let's give it a good go. But anyway, guys, apologies, not much just came out today. I can't do anything about that. But yeah, take care. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all tomorrow.